Hi guys. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a quick little review of what you guys are going to be doing this week for Unit 5, Week 1 ELA. So the biggest thing that I'm going to be going over right now in this video is your pencil page that I usually send home. And I know a lot of you guys remember that how I usually go over our ELA Focus Wall. And since I can't go over the wall in class, I have brought the wall to us. So that's everything I'm going to be going over. So this is just a video on ELA Focus Wall and what you're going to be needing to know to help you guys with your comprehension test this Friday. So the biggest thing I kind of want to go over is on Tuesday in my schedule, you are going to be reading pages 338 through 341. So if you're watching this video, I'm pretty much going over that for you. You do not need to do any of the activities on the page. It's just reading about the strategy, okay? So I guess I'm first going to start off with your guys' essential question for the week. So your essential question for the week is, what do good citizens do? I really want you guys to think about what a citizen does. It's usually within a community. So if you have read the page for the essential question, it kind of shows a picture of girls raising money to buy a playground equipment for a park in their neighborhood. They're good citizens. They are good citizens, and citizens have rights and responsibilities. So it's showing how these kids have taken on the responsibility of raising money to make their neighborhood a little bit better. So they're being good citizens. They're good for their area that they live in, their neighborhood. So once again, that is your essential question for the week. So when you guys are talking about, when you're reading stories this week, I really want you to ask yourself, the character in the story, how are they being a good citizen? What are they doing to help their neighborhood or to help their community? Okay. So that's the biggest thing. Before I get into our focus wall, I kind of want to touch base on your pencil page. I already uploaded this pencil page. If you have printed out my schedule, you'll see it on there. If not, you might want to take a second to pause this so you can see a little bit better. This is usually in your homework packet that I have gone over. So the way that you read this, and you guys already know this because I've gone over this since day one of you guys being in second grade, right here is pretty much the stories that you will be reading. This box right here is all the strategies that you are doing to help you guys do well on your reading comprehension. And then this box are your vocabulary words. The pencil is your spelling words for the week. And then this is just other little words that you might want to know. Okay, so this week, the very top story is always your selection story, what you're going to be taking your selection test on. So this week, you're going to be doing, you're going to be reading a story called Grace for President. The genre is realistic fiction. You have read, you should have already read, Helping to Make Smiles, and that is a narrative nonfiction. And, oh, I'm sorry, that's what you're reading on Thursday. This story right here is what you should have already read on Monday, which is A Difficult Decision, which is also realistic fiction. So you guys don't really need to know that. It's already in your plan that I've set aside for you guys. But that's just kind of how you read this pencil page. This is going to go over everything that you need to help you guys with for the week, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more into detail. Your comprehension strategy this week is a summarize. Comprehension skill this week is point of view. Your vocabulary strategy is the suffix ly, full and less. Your writing traits is ideas. Grammar, we're going to be working with pronouns this week. You're going to be working with irregular plurals, and then quotation marks showing dialogue. So when you put quotation marks around what somebody is speaking or saying. Your vocabulary words for the week, and you guys should have seen that on this page, but this is going to help you guys because it's going to give you the full definition. And if you don't have this page, if you're logging into Spelling City will be giving you the same definitions. So your first word this week is champion, and the definition of champion is a winner. Then you have, help you guys out, determined, and determined means decided. Issues, topics that are talked about. Promises are statements by people that they say will happen. Responsibility is a duty. Rights, claims that cannot be taken away. Volunteered, offered to do something. And votes are choices made in an election. So those are your vocabulary words for the week. Your spelling words for the week are going to have the ow sound together. So when we have two letters that make a blend, so you're going to see the ow sound. So for example, you have sound is a spelling word, mound, cloud, shout, pound, clown, brown, crown, howl, growl. And then you're also going to have some bonus words, and these are bonus words for words that you should have already have memorized on how to spell throughout the year, which is chair, where, ben, myself, and pushed. So these are all of your spelling words that you're going to be tested on this Friday. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, now that you guys kind of got an idea of what you're doing this week for spelling, is I'm going to go over our focus wall, okay? So, and just in case you don't remember, on Tuesday, I have a sign for you guys on the computer to read pages 338 through 341. If you guys are doing this with me, then you guys can just briefly go over this. You don't need to actually read this into full detail because I'm kind of going over it now with you guys, okay? So your comprehension strategy for the week is to summarize. So I'm going to pull out my paper that says good readers summarize the material that they have read. So when I ask you to summarize a story, you tell only the most important parts or the events of a story in your own words. This helps you remember what you have read. So sometimes I might, if I had asked you guys to raise your hand and say, okay, what did you guys learn in the story, A Difficult Decision? You basically would tell me just the important parts. You don't have to retell me the entire story. I don't care to read the whole story. If I wanted to know the whole story, I would read it myself. So you would tell me the main characters in the story. You would tell me, where does the story take place? Most stories have a problem and a solution. So you're telling me those types of events. You're going to tell me, how did that story end? What did they solve? Maybe there was a lesson in the story. Those are the main events. That is called summarizing. Okay, so you guys are going to be working on summarizing this week. The next thing we're going to go over is your comprehension skill for the week, and that is point of view. Now, this actually is this is perfect for us to talk about because you guys had already done your writing performance task. And in your writing performance task, I asked you guys to tell a story from the point of view of a bird. So the bird was telling the story. So comprehension skill is point of view. I can tell who is sharing the story or giving the information. So if the words in the story are I, me, we, then the person that's telling the story is the narrator. If the story is being told by the perspective of a character, then that is their point of view. They're telling you a story from what they saw happen or what they feel is going on. So point of view is who is telling the story, okay? Now, the genre for the week is realistic fiction. And then we've talked about this one constantly this year. So for realistic fiction is I made up a story. A realistic fiction is a made up story that could happen in real life. It's not necessarily a true story, but it could happen in real life. And it tends to have believable characters, a believable setting, and believable events. So I would not have a story that takes place under the ocean with a mermaid, right? That's not something that could truly happen. Now, you might be telling a story about a boy who went to school in 2nd grade and he becomes best friends and they have a lemonade stand. Those are things that could happen in real life. It might not be a true story, but it's something that could happen in real life. So it's a realistic fiction story. The story that you read, which is A Difficult Decision, and basically I'm just reading this for you guys. So if you want to follow along, this is what I'm basically going over. The story, A Difficult Decision, it's a realistic fiction because it has characters that talk and act like real people. It has a setting that could really take place. And it also is told from the first person. So first person is the person that's telling the story. And they typically use words such as I, my, and me. And they share their thoughts and feelings. So that was who is telling the story, the narrator, right? So that's realistic fiction. Your vocabulary strategy for the week, which is on this page right here, suffixes. Now you guys all know this. We have, trying to figure out which way it's going to go. We have prefix, root word, and suffix. So a suffix comes after a root word. And specifically this week, we are talking about the suffix ly, full, F-U-L, as well as less, L-E-S-S. And you guys should know that a suffix is added to the end of a root word to make a whole new word. So I want you guys to pause this video right now, and I want you to go back into the story, A Difficult Decision, and I want you to find me one word that has a suffix of full or less. So go ahead and pause that right now, pause my video, and go find that in the story. Now, if you guys, hopefully you're now playing it, but if you guys had taken some time to look for a word, one of the words that they suggested for you was thoughtful. So thoughtful, so the suffix full is at the end of it. Careful, hopeless. So you are noticing that the suffixes come at the end of a word and it changes the whole meaning of the word. And we are going to talk about that on vocabulary Your Turn practice books, where it talks about more into detail about what those suffixes mean. And actually, I could probably even pull mine out right now. Oh, maybe that's for Tuesday's homework, which is perfect. Yeah. So on your Tuesday's homework, you're even going to be talking about the suffixes right here. So the suffix ly means in a way that is. The suffix full means full of. And then the suffix less means without. So for example, if I was to look at the word careful, here's full right here. If I was to look at the word careful, I know the root word is care and the suffix is full. So careful means full of care. So actually to take care of something. How about hopeless? If I talked about the word hopeless, the root word is hope and less means without. So that means without hope. So you don't think anything's going to change. You kind of feel like everything's going wrong. Nothing. You have no hope. You're without hope. That means hopeless. Okay. So now you guys understand how to figure out the definition of a word by looking at the root word and the suffix. And you are going to need to know these suffixes for your test on Friday. Okay. So that's suffix. And pretty much that's it for those 4 pages, but I'm going to continue going on to things that I want you guys to talk about for your focus wall, okay? This week we're talking about proper nouns, and I know all of you guys should know what a proper noun is. A proper noun names a specific person, place, or thing. Ralphie is joining us again for our lesson. Say hi, Ralphie. So for a pronoun, hey man. For a pronoun, it's the proper name of something. Remember we talked about put your pinkies up and we're going to have some tea? I'm so sorry. So for a pronoun, it's the proper name. So if I said a noun is teacher, a proper noun for teacher would be the person's name. So Mrs. Witcher, that is proper. And when you write Mrs. Witcher, the proper way is to capitalize my name, right? If I said school as a noun, a proper noun for school would be Whitman. And the proper way to write Whitman is with a capital W. So remember, you guys all know this. This is all review. A proper noun is a specific person, place, thing, and it needs to be capitalized. So that is what we've gone over with proper noun. And they kind of even give you an example. A girl is a noun. A proper noun would be Jane. You need to capitalize her name. So a noun would be a drink, and then a special name for it would be Sprite. You have to capitalize Sprite, and so on and so forth. So we are working with proper nouns this week, and pinkies up, because the proper way to write a proper noun is with a capital letter. The next thing I want to go over with you guys, I believe, is your high frequency words. These are words that I just have up on my word wall, just so if you guys wanted to spell these words correctly. This is also a good list for you guys to add into your dictionary that you guys have home right now. It should be in your classwork folder. So we have answer, been, body, build, head, heard, minutes, myself, pretty, and pushed. So these are all words that you guys should know how to spell by now. If any of these words are a new way for you, you did not know how to spell it, this is a really good time to pause my video and to add it into your dictionaries. I'll leave it up just for a second. If you want to pause it, feel free to pause it. All right, and I think that's pretty much it for my focus wall. Once again, I'm going to go over the pencil page. You guys have your spelling words right here and your dictionary, sorry, your vocabulary words with the definition. And this is also available for you on Spelling City. Play those games because it will help you guys with your spelling and vocabulary tests on Friday. Other than that, just a recap. If you watched this video when I went over my focus wall, my ELA focus wall, I basically went over your lesson for Tuesday. He just wants to say hi. Oh my gosh, Rafi, get out of the way. Sorry. He wants to say hi. He misses you guys. Anyways, so that pretty much is this. Anything that says your turn at the bottom and it's asking you to summarize, do not do it. It's just for reads. All you have to do is just read basically what I read at the top and watch this video, and you guys are good. You don't need to do any extra work that I'm not asking for. If you want to put them down in your notebook, you're more than welcome to. If not, I pretty much went over everything from the book for you. Now it's your turn to go into the Your Turn practice book. All right, babes, I'm going to upload this right now. Plan to see this video every Monday. I plan to do one every Monday for your work for Tuesday. Other than that, have a great day. Miss you all.